The Gunlance. The only weapon in Monster Hunter history where they said, hey, let's take a weapon that already exists and strap a gun to it. It's been my favorite weapon since I got my hands on it in Monster Hunter 2, and I am looking forward to telling you guys how it works in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, for it has returned to glory. My name's Duncan, and this is my Gunlance set guide. When it comes to the Gunlance in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, it's been completely revamped. Monster Hunter World ruined my favorite weapon by basically making the only efficient set the Swinglance, which ignored the gun in Gunlance. I'm not the biggest fan of that, so I moved on to other weapons for Monster Hunter World. But we're back, baby, with the new Wormstake Cannon and the unlocking of Artillery Level 5. Shell Lance is back. Using Gunlance as a gun is back. And we're going to be talking about all 3 ways to play Gunlance today, which are 3 completely different playstyles, which basically make Gunlance into 3 different weapons. We're going to start with the comfiest set, my Gunlance Evade set. This is mostly for group hunts where you want to be super comfy and you want to use the charge shot on a long level 6 Gunlance. We're using what is arguably the best long level 6 Gunlance, the Deathlance Val Spicer, along with Zora Headgear Alpha Plus, Zora Hide Alpha Plus, Silver Soul Braces Beta Plus, Zora Spine Alpha Plus, and the Silver Soul Greaves Beta Plus. We're also using the Razor Sharp Charm, as with everything when it comes to Gunlance. Everything you do, choose through sharpness like nobody's business. This does give us the Artillery 5 skill, which finally exists, which increases the power of each attack by 50%, that's shells, and reduces Wyvern Fire's cooldown by 70%. That is absolutely insane. You are Wyvern firing all over the place with this set, but that's not all. Your charge shots do insane damage. With the Feline Bombardier food skill, which you should be eating for if you're using any type of shell Gunlance, you are going to do 172 damage per charge shot, and it doesn't care where it hits on the monster because it's Gunlance, baby! But if you hit your Wormstake Cannon, you're also going to do an extra 106 damage, which is why we have Slinger Capacity level 5 on this, because what people don't realize is that Slinger Capacity level 5 actually increases the length of time the Wormstake Cannon lasts by 2.4 to 2.6 times. It basically lasts the whole hunt, even in multiplayer hunts. It is so comfy, it is so easy, and it's so beautiful. We also have Tremor Resistance level 3, which is just a nice to have. Focus level 3, which is one of our only DPS skills, as our raw damage, true raw, does not affect shell damage on the Gunlance. It is fixed damage. It doesn't care about how much raw your Gunlance has. It doesn't care what element your Gunlance is. It just does fixed damage. No matter what point on the monster you're hitting, it's beautiful. And Focus speeds up our charge shots. It charges up our shots faster. It makes things better and gives us more DPS. Evade Window level 3 is just a nice to have. It makes things comfier. It makes things easier with the perfect dodging that you want to do, especially since the animation lockout on Gunlance attacks is huge, so you often can't shield in time, but you almost always can hop in time, so you're going to be hopping a lot. Even more important than Evade Window, though, and you will see this on every charge Gunlance set, is Evade Extender level 3. This greatly extends Evade Extension, and it actually works on Gunlance hops more than it works on any other weapon in the game. You can hop across the map with this thing. I swear to God, it's awesome. So you can easily get back to your Wormstake Cannon and make sure you're getting that extra 106 damage per shell. Guard level 3 is a nice to have. Capacity Boost is our last DPS increaser, as it allows us to fire 4 shells before speed reloading instead of 3. Free Meal is just a nice to have from one of my 4-slot charms. You will get a different thing if you don't have the same 4-slot as me. Flinch Free comes from our helmet, and we just get 1 level, which is nice, but it doesn't do that much. Protective Polish is super nice on Gunlance. It's just super comfy. And then Razor Sharp, obviously, super comfy as well. Sadly, Spare Shot does not work for Gunlance shells. Feel like it should. They are shells. They have the same bullet icon. Please give us Spare Shot for Gunlance shells in the next update, Capcom. I'm begging you. I'm going to ask Sox to do it. I'm going to ask Sujimoto-san to do it. I'm going to ask everybody I know at Capcom to do it, because I think it should happen, and it would make this the best charm for Gunlance by far, which would be real nice. We then have another one, which is basically sacrificing some of our Evade Window for Guard Up and Mind's Eye / Ballistics, but I'm going to show you the decorations for this set first so that you can see them. We've got 2 Jumping Jewels in the Lance, 2 Charger Jewel level 2s in the Helm. We also have a Jumping Jewel and a Charger Jewel in the Spine Alpha that give us level 3 on both of those skills. An Evasion Jewel here just because it's comfy. Evade Window is very, very comfy skill. Iron Wall Jewel is for guard up. We do want level 3 guard. It is very, very important. Iron Wall Evasion obviously gives us our evade window and our guard, which is super nice, our magazine jewel for capacity boost, another jumping jewel to get that third level of evade extender, which is again super important. I already mentioned it though. Satiated invasion jewel, this is where I get my free meal and my evade window. If you have a different evasion jewel or even another iron wall invasion jewel, you can put iron wall evasion here and free up a 1 slot for another skill that you might want. Sharp jewel for the protective polish and an iron jewel 1. Moving on to the other set, I've gone through that one in huge detail for the super comfy set. We're going to talk about this one. The only thing that's changed here is the decorations, and I do have to talk about the skill in this set. The real skill in the set, because you only really want to be setting your spike once, the real skill in the set is getting the spike in the correct part of the monster. A lot of monsters, you want to get it in the legs for easy trips. Some monsters, like Elder Dragons, you often want it in the head. In this clip here, you can see that I've got a Teostra, and it took me a lot of attempts to get this in such a bad position, so please respect me for this to show you how it works. I've got it in the Teostra's head, right? But I've got it in the top of its head, and as you can see, my long shots aren't quite triggering it, and that means I'm doing a lot less damage. If you compare it to here, where I have it in Teostra's head in his jaw, and every long shot is triggering it, you can see that it is very, very important to place your Wormstake cannon correctly. It is the most vital and the most skill-based part of these hunts, especially when you're doing the speed hunt method, where you basically want to lock the monster down and have it completely tripped all the time. If we look at these decorations, though, for the slightly upgraded set, which gives you the guard up skill, is the most important thing. We've also thrown in the Mind's Eye because it's nice. We do sacrifice 2 levels of our evade window, but in return, we do slot in a Mind's Eye jewel for Mind's Eye / ballistics. This is for monsters that we bounce on a lot, and the guard up jewel, the shield jewel, for monsters that have unblockable attacks. These monsters are rare, so I only really switch to this set if I've got a very bouncy monster or an unblockable attack monster, and I really want to be comfy against those. So that's what this set is. It's more of a filler set as opposed to a complete set. Now we're going to move on to the speedrun set, and unlike most speedrun sets in this game, it actually doesn't have any higher DPS than the comfy sets. What it does have is a different type of comfort, a very one-player solo comfort of basically never taking damage, and so you can just keep your DPS up, as we do have every single shell DPS skill on both of these sets, and on the speedrun set too. So looking at the speedrun set, where we are Samurai Cat, because I do have layered armor for this set, we are replacing a lot of our armor pieces. We're running the Chariot gun rather than the Val Spicer, and that is for one reason and one reason only: it's longer. And in a speed run, it's really important to have that extra length, because it makes it less likely that you'll mess up your spacing and you could mess up the whole run from one misspaced shot. And this just makes it easier and therefore comfier, and we don't need the extra 2-slot gem slot that is on the Val Spicer. We also have the Zora Headgear Alpha here. It is just an amazing piece of armor for Gunlance. Golden Lunamail Beta Plus, the Zora Claws Beta Plus, the Golden Lunacoil Beta Plus, and the Zora Spurs Beta Plus, along with either the Earplugs Charm or the Razor Sharp Spare Shot Charm. I don't know which one's better, because we do have a run here where it got messed up by my sharpness running out against Nagakuga about 3-4 minutes into the run, and it completely screwed my run, as it took me another 2 minutes to get a safe sharpen off, because we don't have speed sharpen or anything on this set, and the whole run was basically ruined, and it was such a clean run up until that point. So I think I'm going to be running this without the earplugs, because I'm going to rely on Rocksteady to stop the early roars and hope I kill it before it roars again, unless the monster is a super roary boy, in which case, like Diablos, I'll probably go earplugs and risk the sharpen. But you do have those 2 charms interchangeably. Artillery level 5, absolutely vital. That's a DPS skill, and this is a speedrun set. We've got Divine Blessing level 5. This is with Divine Blessing Secret, and it's an absolutely insane skill. When you look at Divine Blessing level 5, while active, reduces damage taken by 60%, and it's easier to activate. It activates all the time. It's absolutely nutty, especially with the Rocksteady Mantle. You basically take no damage and you just shell. We also have Health Boost level 3, which mathematically is better by about 1.8 times than Defense Boost level 7. If you want to look at the Monster Hunter math guys, they talked about that and explained it all, and how the defense skill is a trap. Focus level 3 is one of our DPS skills, again, absolutely vital. Evade Extender level 3, absolutely vital. Flinch 3 is super nice, again, super nice with flinch free level 3 and that divine blessing, there are a lot of moves the monsters do that don't even flinch you anymore, and you can just continue to shell, continue to output DPS. Windproof level 1, capacity boost level 1, constitution level 1, and mind's eye / ballistic. So a lot of you are going to be looking at this and going, why is this not your multiplayer set? The answer is, you can't fit on divine blessing secret if you want to fit on Slinger Capacity Secret, and in multiplayer hunts where things tend to go a lot longer than speedruns, you really don't want to be resetting your Wormstake spike. So it's actually a lot comfier to have that Slinger Capacity. But in this set, we're going to kill it before our first spike ever runs out. It is a speedrun set, and it is absolutely monstrous. Right, guys, that is all for Charge Gunlance. As soon as I've shown you these decorations, we are done with Charge Gunlance. But here you go. We've got a Magazine Jewel, a Charger Jewel, an Artillery Jewel 1, Charger Vitality Jewel, Mind's Eye Jewel, Artillery Jewel, Wind Resist Vitality Jewel, which would be even better if it's a Charger Vitality Jewel, because that would give you another 2 slot, and you could actually slot in Guard Up for monsters that have unblockables for those niche situations where you might want to block an unblockable, or any other level 2 jewel. I just don't have it yet, so I'm on Wind Resist Vitality, which is fine for now. Another Artillery Jewel 1 in the claws. Then we have our Charger Vitality Jewel number 2 here. I don't have my third one. I want it. We've got our Jumping Jewel 2, our Jumping Physique Jewel for Evade Extender Constitution, and this could be even better if you have an Evade Extender Evade Window Jewel. You could even put that in there and get a level of Evade Window, and then you could get another level of Evade Window by putting an Evasion Jewel here and dropping this Jumping Jewel into where I said you could put the Guard Up Jewel, which is the extra slot from the Charger Jewel from the third Charger Vitality Jewel. So as you can see, that third Charger Vitality Jewel plus an Evade Extender Evade Window Jewel would give you Evade Window level 2 here, which would make the speedrun set even comfier. And I'm very jealous of the people who already have those jewels. I do not, so I'm waiting for my upgrades. But that is it for the speedrun set, guys. That is my favorite by far, is this new charge style. But we do have 2 more styles of Gunlance for you. First, we've got Full Bursto. You slam into the monster, you burst out level 6 normal shots all over your Wormstake cannon, do huge damage, knock the monster down, do it again. Unfortunately, the combo required for this set is very long and locks you out of any other animations for a long time. So while it does technically have the second highest DPS, higher than any of the charge shots, when the monster is completely immobilized, it doesn't knock them down as easily. You don't get that bonus flinch damage that is built into the charged shot on Gunlance, and so you don't get easy knockdowns, you don't get to chain your trips, and it's very, very difficult to damage an immobilized monster if it's not immobilized, because that's what this does max damage on. But it is a fantastic set. It's a lot of fun. It's Sox's favorite playstyle. It was one of my favorite playstyles with the Gunlance for a long time. Full burst, though. It's very satisfying seeing the 500 to 600 damage from a single full burst. But the majority of the damage does still come from the swings, so we are running some damage boosting skills, some true raw skills, guys, which we weren't running before. Critical Eye level 7, Artillery level 5, Attack Boost level 4, Critical Boost level 3, Weakness Exploit level 3, Flinch Free level 3, Tremor Resist level 1, which is just incidental, Cap Boost, which is absolutely vital, and Protective Polish, which is absolutely vital because this chews through sharpness faster than anything else in the game. Faster than dual swords with Mind's Eye hitting a bounce spot. It is absolutely nuts how fast this goes through your sharpness. If we look at our decorations, it's actually a very easy set to finish out, as the Expert Jewel is guaranteed to you. The 2 attack jewels you should have, one from the guaranteed attack jewel you get, and one from the 10 million care package that Capcom kindly gave us. We've got a few artillery jewels in here. Obviously, if you have an artillery slash something, you can get an extra skill in here, which would be real nice. And then tenderizer jewels and critical jewels to finish off the set. Super easy set to build, super easy set to use, very fun playstyle, but a little less consistent than the charge shot playstyle, and it feels a little luck-based of whether the monster's just going to let you get 3 or 4 full bursts off before it attacks you again. Finally, we have Swinglance. We have 2 sets for Swinglance. Swinglance uses a very similar combo to the full burst, but it sacrifices any shell damage and does not use the actual full burst shell. It still does the speed reload, but it doesn't use the shells, and instead just uses those big damage swings with pure true raw skills. So we're going to go for max DPS first. This one is a slightly less comfortable set than the final set, but it does have much higher DPS. With attack boost level 7, critical eye level 7, agitator level 5, critical boost level 3, weakness exploit level 3, peak performance level 3, which is why we have augmented our Queen's Panoply with panoply, with the health augment, Fortify level 1, and Resuscitate level 1. We are running the Queen's Panoply, Felshroud Helm Beta, Rex Raw Mail Beta, Ruinous Vambraces Beta, Guild Palace Coil Alpha, and Garuga Cleaves Beta with the Attack Charm level 4. When we take a look at decorations, again, it's an easy set to decorate. We've got a Fortitude Jewel, a Critical Jewel Chew, an Expert Jewel, another Critical Jewel, another Expert Jewel, another Critical Jewel, another Expert Jewel, 2 more Expert Jewels. So very easy jewels to get, especially if you ever did the Greatest Jagras event. The Flawless Jewel level 2 and 2 Tenderizer Jewel 2s. This will give us all of those amazing skills and the highest DPS from combo spam of any Gunlance in the game, but it suffers from the same thing that full burst Gunlance does, which is that it just needs the monster to be immobilized. There is one more set that can out DPS this, but that is Aerial Gunlance, and I don't really approve of Aerial Cheese, where you back hop off the ledge, press R2, and just slam back onto the ledge, back hop, slam, back hop, slam. But if you really want to do Aerial Cheese like that, it's a super easy thing to do. You take out a Flawless Jewel, and you lose 1 level of peak performance, and you put in an Airborne Jewel for that plus 30% damage to your aerial attacks, and then you go nuts and you enjoy yourself. So good luck with that one. I don't do it myself. I just don't enjoy that style of play, so I haven't built a set for that. But if you want to, Aerial is super easy. Finally, we're going to the comfy version of this set, and it's very similar. The only thing we do is we sacrifice Agitator level 5 for level 1 instead. We gain Latent Power level 1, which doesn't really matter, but we do get Teostra Technique, Master's Touch, which is going to mean that we don't lose Sharpness when hitting a weakened point, which we'll be doing almost all the time. If we crit, we don't lose Sharpness, and we have 60% crit rate, and then Weakness Exploit puts that up to 80%, 90% even, and then if we're hitting a weakened spot, so if you've got a friend who can wound a spot, or if you can manage to wound it with the Gunlance yourself, you're going to be having 100% crit rate, and you're never going to lose Sharpness. No need to ever sharpen. So that uses Kaiser Crown Beta, Rex Raw Mail Beta, Kaiser Vambraces Beta, Kaiser Coil Beta, and Garuga Greaves Beta with the Attack Charm 4. This also happens to be a very common set for Longsword with exactly these skills, so feel free to use this for your Longswords or for any raw damage-based weapon, in fact. Just replace the Queen's Panoply with whatever Gold Rathian weapon is for you, because Gold Rathian weapons are broken in this game. They're completely ridiculously good. If we look at our decorations, we've got a Fortitude Jewel, we've got a Challenger / Protection Jewel, but any Challenger / anything Jewel works here. You don't have to have Divine Blessing. I just like it because it's nice. Flawless Jewel level 1, Flawless Jewel 2, Expert Jewel 1, Flawless Jewel 2, Tenderizer Jewel 2, Flawless 2, Critical Jewel 2, Attack Jewel 1, which everybody should have, Expert Jewel, which everybody should have, and then 2 Critical Jewels at the bottom, and that's going to give you all of those beautiful skills. Gunlance is a beautiful weapon, and the fact is that in this game, there are basically 3 different Gunlances, which play almost completely differently. Obviously, Swinglance and Burst Lance play very similarly to each other, but Charge Lance may as well be a completely different weapon. I want to make wide-type Gunlance work, but it doesn't seem like it ever is going to work. So I hope you enjoy Gunlance, and if you can make a good wide-type set that uses normal shelling, which with only 2 shots just doesn't seem efficient, seems like it would do less damage than charge shelling basically all the time. But if you've got a set for that, please let me know. Please do enjoy your Gunlance play, because it is the best weapon in Monster Hunter history. I hope you have fun with it. I definitely have fun with it, and I'll see you guys next time.